Today, there will be a funeral for Cortez Police Sergeant Michael Moran. He was killed in the line of duty last week. A man named Jason Campbell shot him during a traffic stop. Moran died at the hospital. Campbell also died later that night in a separate shootout with police. Moran's funeral won't be open to the public, but there will be a live stream available. There will also be a procession afterwards. And there's a memorial outside the Cortez Police Department for people to stop by and pay their respects.
A push to keep Donald Trump off Colorado's Republican primary ballot goes to the state Supreme Court today. A group of voters sued to keep Trump off the ballot. They're arguing part of the 14th Amendment disqualifies him from holding office because he took part in the January 6th insurrection. A judge in Denver ruled there is no precedent that the clause applies to presidents, even though the judge said Trump incited the insurrection. The voters appealed, and so did Trump's attorneys. They want the judge's decision that there was an insurrection to be overturned.
There have been similar lawsuits in a few other states, and new this morning, a federal judge in Arizona ruled that Trump can be on the ballot there. That lawsuit also cited the 14th Amendment. Judges in Minnesota and Michigan have also dismissed efforts to keep Trump off the ballot.
Less than 12 hours to go until the fourth Republican presidential debate. 4 Republicans have qualified for the 4th presidential debate. Former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, and former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. The debate will be held in Alabama. It's set to start at 6 p.m. and will air on News Nation, moderated by former Fox News anchor Megyn Kelly. So far, no other debates are on the schedule, so this could be the last one before the Iowa caucuses in January.
It is now 6:03, and the Biden administration says it has a new plan for student loan forgiveness. In June, the Supreme Court struck down President Biden's initial plan to forgive up to $20,000 of student debt. So now the administration is trying again. In the new proposal, 4 groups could get relief. Borrowers with balances greater than what they started with, anyone making payments for more than 20 years, people eligible for existing relief programs who haven't applied, and borrowers whose school failed to meet earning expectations. A committee will meet later this month to make a decision on the president's plan. Then the Department of Education will release the rules for public comment next year.
The U.S. Department of Education says its financial aid application will be available by the end of the month. Usually those FAFSA forms are available in October, and the delay is putting college financial aid offices in a time crunch. The DOE pushed back the date to finish making some changes to the form. It means financial aid offices won't have as much time as usual to build award packages and aid offers for students. And because of that, students applying for federal aid will have to wait longer to find out how much they're getting.
They're able to submit their FAFSA at the end of February, but schools are not going to receive their FAFSA information till probably the end of January. So schools will be unable to process that information, offer awards, until they receive that FAFSA information. So it may be like the beginning of February before schools are even able to process that information.
That's really pushing everything back. She says if you are planning to fill out the FAFSA form, do it as soon as possible. Some people might qualify for federal grants, but each college or university only gets a limited amount.
CVS is changing the way it prices drugs, and that means the cost of your prescriptions might change as well. The good news, CVS says it expects most prescriptions to be less expensive. The new formula includes the cost of the drug, a set markup, and a fee. The pharmacy says this approach will be simpler and more transparent. CVS is planning to make the change in 2025.
Right now, Colorado is seeing an increase in cases in the world's deadliest infectious disease. UC Health says the state has seen nearly 60% more tuberculosis cases so far this year. The hospital says last year they had 57 cases. So far this year, they've had 84 cases with 2 deaths. Of those cases this year, 8 were children. Most of the cases are in the metro area and El Paso County, which tracks with years past. TB was on a 10-year decline in Colorado until this year. Local pediatricians are giving us a look at the good, the bad, and what's coming our way when it comes to RSV.
Yeah, they're hoping that families listen since they're expecting more kids to get sick over the next couple of weeks. Our Anusha Roy joins us in studio now. So Anusha, you talked with doctors from 2 major children's hospitals.
Yeah, I've been chatting with them over the last week or so from Rocky Mountain Children's Hospital and Children's Hospital Colorado. They tell me they're expecting RSV cases to go up in the coming weeks. Children saw a sharp spike in the last 2 weeks. That could be somewhat due to holiday travel. Doctors from both places said right now they're still still seeing more kids coming in sick as well. They're really expecting that to stay that way for at least a couple of weeks. There is a little bit of good news though. Children say while the numbers have hit the same level as 2021, they have not hit the same peak as last year. Those numbers were even higher, and it was so stressful for families and healthcare workers. Another positive trend this year was last year, Rocky Mountain Children's Hospital saw a lot of kids ages 2 to 5 falling very sick. That's a lot older than they typically see with RSV, but this year the age of their patients is way down. Dr. Danielle Dhaliwal is hoping that this really is meaning that some kids are building up more immunity after the pandemic lockdowns.
I think we've seen a little bit more of universal exposure, families, parents getting exposed, the older kids getting exposed, and now we're seeing the younger babies that haven't had that exposure.
So here is what to look for in case you need to go to the emergency room. That includes fast breathing, rapid breathing using abdominal muscles, babies that might be sleeping more than usual. So definitely don't be afraid to rely on those pediatrician and the nursing lines to help you out. And also know that COVID is circulating along with the flu, but not to the same level as RSV, according to Children's, especially for the kids.
Yeah, we don't mess around when it comes to RSV, Anusha, especially after what we saw happen last year.
Yes, 100%. And I think that's where a little bit of the silver lining is here, but the doctors really don't want people to let their guard down because they're still seeing kids coming in and needing to be admitted because of this.
Well, and Anusha, this comes down to trusting the mama gut, right? Like trusting the parent gut. Like if you feel like something is off, again, sleeping more or whatever, just go get it checked out.
Just call at the very least. I've done it 1,000 times and it's always helpful.
Absolutely. Anusha, thank you. New this morning, new data shows that 2023 will go down as the hottest year on record.
Yeah, this is all according to an analysis from the European Union's Copernicus Climate Change Service. Now, it's not too surprising given every month since June has been the hottest on record. Copernicus found that this year's global temperature will be nearly 35 degrees warmer than pre-industrial levels. Scientists have said this year's high temps are because of combination of El Nino and human-caused climate change.
This morning, Hollywood actors officially have a new contract. About 78% union voters were in favor of this new deal with studios. Actors went on strike for 118 days, pushing for better residual pay, more compensation for streaming, and protections from artificial intelligence. This new contract runs through June 2026. It includes more than $1 billion for new compensation and benefits.
And one thing you want to know about the weather is we're going to have another nice day. Just a few clouds over northern Colorado right now. By 4 o'clock, we've got clear skies border to border, a few clouds overnight. And then tomorrow, we've got sunshine over the eastern plains during the afternoon hours. But look at the snow heading to the northern mountains. So today, look at these temperatures all along the Front Range from Castle Rock up to Greeley and Fort Collins in the 60s to near 70 degrees.
Ed, thank you so much. As far as the roads go right now, we're honestly looking pretty great. This is a live look at Commerce City, 270 and York Street. Eastbound lanes traveling away from us, getting a little bit heavier in volume. Same thing for those westbound lanes, but nothing slowing down across the metro just yet.
Monarch Mountain is opening for the season today, and they say they got nearly 2 feet of snow last weekend. It is one of 2 ski resorts in Colorado that doesn't use snowmaking machines. They hope to have as much terrain and as many lifts open as possible today. Ski Cooper also plans to open today. It is the other resort in the state that relies on natural snow. It's actually the spot where the famous 10th Mountain Division Army unit trained during World War II. Some of those soldiers would later go on to launch Colorado's ski industry.